I am hoping that people watching this can see there is a title of what this live is. I pray to goodness that what does it say? We're telling your followers. Oh right, I I've just decided to use this new feature that is add a title. So please, can somebody tell me if they can see a title of who I'm talking to? Hi Emma, of who I'm talking to. It should say Martine is talking to Faye Brooks. I've done it in a different way. So if people can let me know, that would be awesome. I'm really glad you're excited. Hi, everyone. I'm just waiting for Faye to join. Oh, that's really annoying. Right, I'm going to add it here. Oh, you see the title? Yeah, you can see it. Okay, I won't add it. It says at the top, how exciting. Sorry, haven't done an Instagram live for a week. And yeah, I feel like I've lost all my skills. Okay, let me just see if Faye is here. No, she is not. No, not yet. Okay. We shall just wait. I really hope... Nice sweatshirt. Thanks, Laura. I'm just waiting for Faye to arrive, and then we can start jibber-jabbing. We are going to talk about what she's been up to. Here, she's here. Okay, right, Faye, I will add you. There we go. Excited. I've not seen Faye for so long. I'm really excited to catch up with her. Hi, Michelle. Hope you're all right. It's so weird that I've not done this for a week. There she is.
Hello.
Hi.
How are we?
Hey.
Hi.
How are you?
It's been so long. My goodness.
Hasn't it? I haven't seen you. Well, I don't even remember the last time I saw you. Which makes me very sad.
I know. It was probably some sort of event.
It was probably down in the Super Wars last year.
Yeah. How are you?
If it was a year ago?
Probably
that
was.
Could have been a year ago. It probably was.
Yeah.
Anyway, how are you? How are you? How have you been?
I'm good. Yeah, thank you for having me.
Are you kidding me? Thank you for coming.
I know, but this is I've done a few sort of live Q&As, but they've been either Zoom and they've been really private. Some I've just done with friends, and I love them because you just kind of just reevaluates everything. And I think during this whole madness of crazy time that we are dealing with right now, if anything, it has given us time to reflect, and it just kind of it sort of exaggerates that really and makes you really appreciate what's going on for you personally.
I think so, because I think you and I are quite spiritual anyway, and we always believe in what goes around comes around, and that everything happens for a reason. Well, we've kind of, I think that's one of the main things that when I met you years ago, I remember thinking, yes, this is a spirit, and I love that about you. But I think people have either taken lockdown as one way or another. You either take it that it's a negative, and would you know, and that life is just ending and woe is me and I'm just gonna ride it out, or you go, okay, I'm gonna take every positive from this, I'm gonna develop myself, I am gonna learn the positives that I can take out of this. And you either go one way or you go the other. And at first I went under the duvet, and then I came out and I was like, no, goddamn you, I am gonna grow.
That moment over this, how many months have we been all locked in our houses now? It's natural, totally natural. I think it's just really important that we accept those negative thoughts that come through, and how do you turn them around? How do you make yourself feel those tiny little things that fill your soul and make you happy, like just to keep going? Because we don't know what's going to happen. That is the fear factor setting in. And that's been the hardest struggle, I think, daily for everyone. I've definitely personally, like, raised my hand. I've been there, done that, had my days where I've just broke down for no apparent reason. I've watched my mom cry over the fact that there's no garlic left in the house. You know, it's tiny things that are going to make us fall apart because we can't control anything. The one thing we can control is our own little happiness. And I think however big or small that is, whether it's, you know, really taking the time to be present and working on yourself and hitting that pause button and really, really, whether you want to enjoy it or not, you're going to have to accept it because the universe is telling us to stop. We've been going 50 million miles per hour every second, all day long, all night long. We haven't stopped. Pause, take a breath, and just really kind of take in what's truly, truly important.
Yeah. I know the other week I went to Birmingham. I did a photo shoot in Birmingham, and it sounds glamorous. It wasn't. I was masked up and visored up and gloved up to the hilt. And I was just barking orders because I wouldn't go near the model.
Oh, really?
But it was weird because it was my first journey in the car, really. And also what I realised was no one was speeding. No one really used the fast lane. If the speed limit was 50 or the 70, no one was really going fast. And I was like, interesting. And I didn't want to, you know, I didn't want to go fast either. I just quite happy just pootling along. The old me would have wanted to get there really quick and then get back. So it was interesting. And I do think the world is slowing down and looking around and going, I've never noticed that before, and I've never noticed that before. So I think there's so much good to come out of it.
No, it's easier said than done. I am embracing it. Trust me, I am frustrated as anything with my industry because I can't live without my career. I love it. I eat, sleep and breathe it. And to not be able to do anything right now, no auditions are coming through. It was for the first few weeks of lockdown, they were still trying to make it work. Yeah. And then suddenly it just went really quiet. And so that to me is the most frustrating part of this whole situation, is how are our jobs affected, whether that's my industry, your industry, you know, even my dad being a key worker, my mum's completely had stopped working, my brother lost his job, you know, all of these factors come in. But then at the same time, it's been the most transformational, life-changing circumstance. And I think that's the positive. Yeah. Like, when would I have spent this quality time within myself? How much rest would I have got? Like, those are the tiny little, you just go, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah. I for me, it's like I've not had time to do my website, but it's now working and it's up and it's totally changed. And I wouldn't have had the time to do that. I wouldn't have had time to learn how to meditate better.
We don't have enough time to do that. No, we say we're going to do it and then we just don't do it.
Yeah. There's always something that's more important.
Mm-hmm.
So how is your mum?
She's good. I'm so, I mean, no one knows my mum. If no one knows my mum, she's my guardian angel. Yeah, so I can't really function without either a conversation with my mum or just getting advice from her. And she's an holistic therapist by nature with her job. And so she's very much of a spirit with me and very in tune with where I'm at. We function on how we're feeling, and we're very open, and that just makes me feel alive and human. If I have a bad day, it's okay. It's okay to not be okay. So I've been very, very, very lucky. I can say this because I know a lot of people are alone, and I know a lot of people don't have their parents. And I mean, that's where we're making time to speak to people and really connect and make sure that everyone's okay, because there's only so much we can do, you know. But I have loved this quality time because I don't live with my mum, and being isolated here has just been a bit of a blessing. So so
are you around the corner from me then?
Yes.
No way. No way.
Hi.
The whole time you've literally been like a mile down the road.
I know.
That's hilarious.
Crazy.
So, but anyway, we move on. So you've had questions and I've had questions because you put them on your stories. I had questions. I've also got some random ones that I'm going to ask because I love asking questions that no one probably ever asks you. So, okay. So I'm going to start with the Corrie stuff because there's been a lot of questions around Corrie and acting. And first of all, have you always wanted to act, or was it something that, like, has it always been inherent inside you?
Well, yeah, no one in my family does it. So that's interesting. Where did that bug from? When I was younger, I was just always kind of wanting to perform and my imagination would run wild, and you know, my favorite time of the day would be bedtime, because it would be filled with stories. And definitely as a child I got the bug, but when I started to sort of grow up, and I basically threw myself into everything, because I didn't know what I wanted to be when I was older. I was a bit of a late bloomer, even though my parents put me into those clubs, those after school activities, and I was really lucky to develop more social skills through those academic clubs that you went up to, like acting or dancing. And I even was a part of the school athletic team and the swimming club, and you know, you name it, I did it, because I didn't know what I wanted to do. And it just happened that whilst I was at high school, I was at Knutsford High School, and that's where I really found like the love and the passion. And it totally fed to me, because I've surrounded myself with friends that were on the same page, and we all just encouraged one another. And we were known as like the Fame Kids, because we always wanted to be in all the productions, and cheesy as like, I don't care, I'm a geek, don't care. And reminds me of Glee. Like, we were totally Glee. Like,
oh my god.
So
I can imagine.
I know. Probably really annoying to some people. I can't help it. I'm really sorry. And then when I went to Pendleton College, they took me under their wing, and they were like, yes, like helped me with every step of the way with auditioning for drama school, even down to the funding. I didn't know how to get the money for it. There's scholarships you can get. You can even ask the government and the people that are taking care of your county, your mayor, all of that. So it was really like crazy, overwhelming. But cut to me being at Guildford School of Acting, and I left home at 18, and I was 3 years in the West End. So it was something I just didn't quit on. And if anybody said to me I can't do it, it gave me more drive and determination to prove it wrong.
That's amazing, because so many people would go the other way.
Yeah, totally. Because even I was saying, when I went to Pendleton, I was even told by my parents to have a backup, because they knew how cutthroat and how difficult this industry can be. And trust me, I get that. I must have had more no's said to me than I have had job offers. So you've got to be kind of thick-skinned. You've got to have broad shoulders. And yeah, I didn't care. I was like, I'll cry over the jobs I don't get, but we'll power on. It will make me the person that I am sat here talking to you today. It will make me stronger. It will teach me, you know, and I don't want to stop learning. I think that's a really, that's the one thing I think I've reminded myself, because I am a sponge, and I do want to take everything in, and I hope that never goes away, because I really, I like that.
That's it. I love that. I love that whole, like, and for me, it's all about that people saying no. And I think that's the key thing, isn't it, really, being acting, with the acting and any kind of creative, is the no's and how to deal with the no's and the rejection. Do you think the resilience and the thick skin comes with the amount of no's? Not saying you've had loads, but what I mean is, it's not a skill.
I'm going to be real honest. I was so lucky when I got Corrie. I was like, how am I going to prove to them that I can be a lesbian? How? I don't think it's never going to go away. But I like that, because I remember someone asking me once, I think it was an interview for the press office at Coronation Street, and one of the magazines had said, you know, do you ever get nervous on set? And I was like, yeah, like all the time. This is never easy. This is always I'm always gonna be on my front foot. I'm always gonna be making sure that I'm doing my best. I'm giving them what they need, and I hope I'm doing well. And this is the flip side of it all, is that can have a really negative effect on your self-esteem and your mental health. That's something I've had to really overcome and accomplish and deal with, and keep learning as I go through this industry, because it changes because of the job, because of the situation, because of the people surrounding me. It's constant, like, energies that I just take, and I'm quite empathetic, so I really take them on, and then I don't know how to deal with them. And that's another thing. I think it's interesting to discuss, because we've not been around other people lately. So
yeah, how have you found
emotions.
that?
What
Even though
was
you've been
that?
around your family, how have you found that? Like, because
Yeah,
obviously, if you're an empathic person, and then you're not around people, how, you know? I mean, obviously, you've been around your family, but in a work environment, how have you found it?
Yeah, that I think I go into kind of overdrive, because I want them to be comfortable. I want them to be okay. But what if I'm having a bad day?
Yeah.
You know, if especially when it came to Coronation Street and it was all based on the storyline, you know, you kind of had to come to set a little bit robotic and then switch into an emotion whilst the camera's rolling, and you say the lines, and you say it with truth, and you use everything, all your skills. But once that they yell cut and the director's looking at the tapes and you're sat there with whoever you're working with, you're hoping that it's a safe space. You're hoping that, and when it's not, I have to make sure that everyone's okay.
Yeah.
And I think I've always been a bit like that. And I actually hated it when I've not been like that on a job. I've not, and it's not that I've not enjoyed the job. I think it's because I've understood the severity of the role or the responsibility that I've had to take on. And so when I have to put that wall up, that doesn't sit well with me.
Yeah.
You know, I kind of and go, I'm really, really sorry. You know, I don't mean to come across as someone who is being passive aggressive, or, you know, that I'm above you or I'm pretentious, anything like that. Because as soon as you do put that wall up with people, it can say a million things. You know, as much as silence is golden, your
it can also
actions.
the other way. Yeah. Yeah, totally. So
that's
no,
no, go on.
No, you go. You go.
No, you go.
You go.
No, I think that this is interesting that we're talking about this, because this isn't a part of a question that came up for me. It's just something that I'm naturally kind of intuitive now. And I think it's just because my head is so much clearer during this time. So my thoughts are just, what's the best word to describe it? I'm just more in tune with everything.
You're pure.
Yeah.
Like, that's the word.
But what's happened in a year, and I think I've taken on a lot within that year. So I've had to do a lot of cleansing and a lot of trying to make myself happy, my little soul happy. Because, you know, if you don't love this, if you can't love what's inside, it's never going to show naturally.
Yeah.
And
so true.
I've just really come to terms with the fact that I need to be content within my own space before, you know, welcoming anyone else into that space, and all of, just making it all balanced and just calm, more equal, more, you know, all of that, to share this energy with you. And I like it. I like this.
I like this. I could talk about this for the full hour.
No, another one.
I know, yes. But do you know what I think? Because you are someone in the public eye, people will automatically, your fans, they will know that you have a heart and they love you dearly. But I also think that they may feel that anybody that is watching you thinks that you are invincible because you're in the public eye, and that nothing affects you. And because you're in the public eye, you are therefore fair game to shit, and then it doesn't affect you. But actually, you are a normal human being. Some, you know, some may say some people are more emotional than others, and I think that it's so nice of you to show and talk about that side of things, because people can relate to you even more, to know that you are just a regular human being that has a shit days.
I'm just a girl.
I'm just a girl in a
world. I'm literally just figuring it out as I go along. I don't have a plan.
I don't think any of us have a plan, and I'm a lot older than you, and I'm still figuring it out. So anyway, so there was a question of when and if are you going back to Corrie? Because it's a question that you're always asked.
Yes.
So I'm going to ask it.
Oh, okay. When? Okay. So I don't know when I'm going back to Corrie. Is the question answered? I would love to go back. I really enjoyed my time there. I mean, 4 years playing the same character, I really got my teeth stuck into a role. I've never ever done that. I'm being a lesbian. Wow.
How do you cope with that? How do you cope, right?
You know what?
I was acting, but how do you cope the first time you've got to kiss a girl?
And you just, I think what I took more seriously was the responsibility for the LGBT community. And we were a voice for them. So I wasn't going to take that lightly. And I really invested with, I worked with Brooke and I worked with Melissa, who came in for a very short period. And Bhavna obviously was the one at the end with me. And she and I would talk very openly before we would do a scene about how we wanted this to work and what did we want them to feel after this. And there's so many layers to creating a scene that it actually meant we'd have to take into our own hands and work with each other, in the green room or read through lines. Even walking to set, we would talk to each other, very honestly, the gear changes and even then just checking in with each other emotionally as Faye and Bhavna walking to set, because however that is going to transcend through our characters, it's got to be real. And trust me, not every day is rosy and you can just get exhausted. Yeah. And sometimes I remember there were days when I would literally have to remind her to eat and drink because she was so stressed out with, people didn't know she was planning her wedding. People didn't know that she was having the biggest storyline at Coronation Street that she'd had so far on her journey there. And I think she just needed a hand to hold. And I hope I was that hand for her. And I always hope that in return with actors that work with myself, that they would be that there for me. Because I had a lot of really strong characters around me. The Connors were so iconic and bold. And, there were legends like and Alison and Kim. Like, I was already in good hands, but at the same time they were so real with me. And they let me in, and I can still to this day grab my phone and call any of them up. My on-screen dad acts like my dad. Sends me, texts me and just checks in, hey baby, how you doing? And I love that. So if I went back, I would love to go back. I just don't know when that's going to be, because with chronic, you have to respect there's a timing with everyone. And I do think that there's a lot of new people there at the moment that need to get embedded. And we've also had to face challenges with whether they're going to have to stop filming, which they did for a little bit. And now I know that they're back working next week. And so it's great. It's all positive, but I just don't know when Kate will be back. If that's a good answer.
Yeah. Who knows? Easier? Who knows? Let's just keep the door open. Is it easier to, you were saying about nerves before. Is it easier to act on a stage or act on TV? Not that it may be easier. Is there one that you prefer, or is there one that is easier?
I think that I've really enjoyed my fair share of both kind of bags that I've got to enjoy, whether it was live, being a leading lady and knowing the show inside out, back to front, that I get to play with it every day, 8 times a week. You are gonna have those moments where you are tired, but it's what the audience gives you to make you carry on. And that, to me, there is nothing more electric than a live audience and how you respond. So I've missed theatre, and I loved going to do Panto, doing Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs at Birmingham Hippodrome. It was a long stint and it was challenging, but it was what I used to do. So I just slipped straight back into the old Faye, the MT Faye. That, by the way, I definitely got teased at Corrie for being this like bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, I was just this teacher's pet. I was just wanting to make sure everyone
Love
was happy. They were just like, do you ever switch off? Do you ever shut off? I'm like, sorry.
Oh,
But
you're just a lovely person that likes to make everybody happy.
You'd think that. I hope people believe that, because, you know.
Why would they not?
Well, I'm going off subject now, Martine. It's your fault.
We always go off subject. We've got an hour.
I think with when people meet me, people that know me and they know my personality, and it's my best friends. I can literally count my best friends on one hand.
Well, they should be that way.
Have been with me forever.
Yeah.
And they know me. They can call me out. They can tell me when I've been talking too much about myself. They can kind of tell me to calm down about the whole fitness thing, because apparently sometimes I might be going overboard. But, you know, they're the ones that ground me and root me, and I feel so comfortable being me.
Yeah.
And we all be able to express ourselves and be who we are, even if I don't know what the subject matter is that everyone might be talking about, or I might not have known, you know, what's happening behind closed doors. I might not know the latest. I was always the last to know, really. But I think it's because I just kept my head down and always kind of stayed with the people that I was always working with, because as I said, there's so many characters at Coronation Street. You kind of don't get to work with everybody. So that's a shame. But at the same time, it made you super close with the people that you did work with.
Yeah.
And I could be my complete geek self with them. I could. Good. I could be giddy, you know, cheeky, silly, putting on voices, being an absolute weirdo. I am. People might not know that side to Faye. I try to show it through social media, and when I am having interviews, that I am this happy, trying to be positive. But trust me, like we're all not perfect. Like, I'm not trying to be the perfect princess. I'm not. Because I know who I am, and I know the broken parts, and I know what I need to work on. I think that it's really brave to just be who you are and not try to care what people think. But unfortunately, with this industry, you end up caring what people think.
Yeah.
We have this Corrie girl WhatsApp group, and it's all the girls together, and it's so lovely that I'm still a part of it. And so I keep in contact with them all, and I'm hopefully going to meet up with them all this weekend, social distancing.
Amazing.
But to have that connection still with them, that is a group that I will treasure. And it's just sharing our day and what obstacles are we facing. And, you know, other people in that group have families that they have to think about, and how that's having an effect on them and their job and their mental health. And so it's a real open space. And I think those are the things you can't really take for granted. You should have that around you, whether it's a good support system, someone to talk to, just so it can bring out the best version of you. You know, get rid of all the toxic kind of negative energy, and go from there. But yeah, I'm not perfect. So just,
I think that's something that a lot of us need to adhere to. What you've just said is, and I know we are going off kilter a little bit, but I was just thinking the same thing. I'm very hard on myself, because I feel like I should be, I used to think I should be perfect, and I would be annoyed with myself when I wasn't. And I just think, you know, once that penny drops that you don't have to be perfect, it's like, and yeah.
Don't
and I
love 2 inches.
Yeah.
You realise.
Yeah. But I love it. Soph 97 has just said, nobody's perfect. We're human, and we're all amazing in our own way.
Preach.
Yeah, preach, sister. And it's surrounding yourself with people that you can be who you really are, and you can explore who you really are, because we get used to being someone that is trying to make other people happy, so we are not our real selves. We think too much about what everybody else thinks, and so we're not being ourselves. And you know, I up until a year ago, I remember thinking, I haven't belly laughed for so long. And now I have so many different people in my life, and they make me belly laugh. And that to me is a sign of, you know, the fact that I am discovering who I really am. So it's surrounding yourself with that tribe. Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway,